I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit in a mood right now. I recorded almost 40 minutes of a tier list video and it didn't record all of it. Only got like 20 minutes out of the whole thing. Half the video. It don't make sense anymore because I already finished the tier list. That means I have to start again. I don't understand why I recorded only 20 minutes of it. I'm ranting. That's not what I want to discuss today. What I wanted to discuss today was another anime trope. I think last week I did the pervy character. I think the other week, I forgot. I think it was like the wimpy character or something like that. But this week I want to focus on the old sensei stereotype that's been in most animes, And if you're new to anime, I'm just gonna go into detail about this trope that you often see from time to time, why it's included, and just take it from there. Essentially, what you need to know is, in most Shōnen, because I mainly watch Shōnen, so I don't know if it's just norm for other types of anime, but in most of their anime and manga, there is a old sensei who teaches the main protagonist all the special moves, the fighting technique, even moral things. This old sensei will go and teach their student. It could be a female, it could be a male, but it's always someone old who's been there before and just wants to pass on what they know to the new guy, It's always sort of the old sensei will know one technique and then teach it to the new guy, and then that'll be the new guy's signature move. And that's that's what the plan has been since Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, even something as old as Yu Yu Hakusho. So I wanted to look at famous examples, famous situations where the old sensei stereotype has been implemented. Starting off with Master Roshi. That's probably the most infamous, most recognizable, most visually triggering old sensei trope. You could argue he was the one that probably started the wave. If you don't know, he was from Dragon Ball Z. He's the one that taught Goku, I think Krillin maybe. I'm not really a Dragon Ball Z fan, so I don't know the entire history of it, but I do know that's what he does. And yeah, you could argue he's the one that originated the trope, and because of how recognizable and how iconic the character was, it was then repeated in other tropes in the anime scene, I should say. And every old man trope is there compared to Master Roshi. Now, as a character, Master Roshi is sort of the wise sensei mixed in with the pervert trope we covered last time. He teaches the young guy what to do, the techniques, how to, morally be upright and all that. And he's a perv. Infamous perv. Whenever the situation is going on, you could count on him to be a perv. Whether it's a female combatant, whether it's one of his friends, one of his family, he's always going to be a perv. I think that's what made him so recognizable as well. But when you make up Master Roshi, yeah, he's a strong, capable fighter, but he's also the perv. Another recognizable sensei in that regard is Jiraiya from Naruto, who's not enough the same, but slightly different, because I'm not too sure if we know what Master Roshi's backstory is, but at least Naruto, we definitely know. Part of the legendary he sacrificed to help the protagonist Naruto move on. He was included in sort of like the I'm gonna say the background detail. The background detail, the footnotes, the backstory of protagonists and antagonists alike, from Pain to Minato. So he trained Naruto's dad and then Naruto himself. And what I think he might be my favorite, simply because he was the father figure Naruto never had. You can make the case for what's his name? Goku and Master Roshi, but I feel like Jiraiya was more of a that fatherly type, like, oh, I taught your dad sacrificed himself, I'm gonna teach you, help you get by, teach you what it is to be a ninja and have your own ninja way and all that. And so that's why he's at least my favorite. When he, unfortunately, spoiler alert, died in the anime / manga, it was one of the most tragic scenes in anime, honestly. When he died, I was not expecting it. I didn't cry, but it still got to me. And the fact that he essentially got himself killed in order to make sure they had a fighting chance against Pain. And I'm so glad that they didn't bring him back when everyone was getting resurrected and brought back. But yeah, his death was just tragic, especially to Naruto, who again looked up to this guy as like a father figure. So yeah, that's another guy who was the old sensei trope. Even though he looked young, he was, I think, like maybe in his like 70s, because he's younger than the third Hokage, and I think he might be a little bit younger than Tsunade. Tsunade was like Hokage at age maybe 50, 60. I don't know. The maths ain't mathing at the moment. Another one, not as strong as the other two, but still important. I'm gonna say Rayleigh and just Rayleigh. We're gonna take it one step at a time. He's not as involved as the other two in terms of teaching Luffy, but that's more of a story standpoint. He is part of like the old legendary crew. So to him, he's like, my time is done. I've been here, I've seen it. I'm not going to get involved because I don't need to. I'm going to just teach this guy some of the techniques and then let him go on his way. Because it's not up to me. It's not up to me. My time has gone and passed. I'm just going to chill out and retire. And he's more of a symbol than a character. You know, the old god who's achieved greatness, stepping back and letting the new generation come forward and achieve greatness in their own right. And in terms of like scenes in the anime, he has some of the best scenes, just displaying his haki, his strength, displaying why the military see him as a threat, because the military know that he's there, but they just don't trouble him because they know he's a genuine threat who will take out loads of Marines before they could take him out, so they just leave him there. But again, in terms of the old sensei type, he's more of in One Piece, Luffy, I guess you could argue he has like two senseis now who are both old men. But I feel like with Rayleigh, he sees Roger in Luffy. So that's why he took him under his arms in the first place. And being someone who was essentially the second guy in the crew of the Pirate King, he's seen it before, he knows what he's doing, he knows what he's saying. But again, his time has passed, so he's just sitting back and letting the younger generation do their thing. The second one, I'm gonna say, no, the next one I should say, is Gran Torino for My Hero. Okay, he's not as involved as the other two again, but he still taught Deku a technique that helped him master All for One. Was it All for One or One for All? I always get those two confused. I think it's One for All. And because he was a friend of the previous user, he was able to pass on that knowledge to Deku and help him train, help it learn what it means to be a hero. And in his own right, he even helped All Might. Because, again, the previous user passed. She passed on that power to All Might. All Might passed on that power to Deku. And so he trained the previous two generations. And again, he's not involved. It's just that, he's the old sensei stereotype. He took them, a young person, under his wing, taught them the techniques, and then sent him on his way. Another one who is arguably different in his own way is I hope I pronounce this correctly, Sakonji Kadaki from Demon Slayer. Again, old man teaching the young guy. The difference with him is he's not as involved because he understands his responsibility as a teacher. Because he doesn't just teach one student, he teaches many, just at different time periods within I don't know how long. But when you look at him, when you look at his scenes, his interactions, how they left his character alone after the arc, you can see that there's a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. Even when the Hashirahs were talking about this new generation, you get the sense of, that's why he's so harsh. That's why he's so determined to make sure his students are strong enough. Because the large majority of people die against Demons. The large majority dies. Even his students were being killed off during the testing phase. Not even as an actual Demon Slayer, during the testing phase, the students were dying. It was only because Tanjiro managed to defeat I forgot the demon's name, that, he sort of had a resolve. The students were able to move on. And even when Tanjiro came back to make sure his sister and the old man was okay, the old man was crying. Because yes, he cared, but he couldn't show that he cared. Because at the end of the day, it's his job. He needs to make sure these kids are trained enough to go out and defeat the demons. So there's not much he can do in the realm of, being that fatherly figure, because he, again, has too much responsibilities and too much to worry about to be your father figure. It won't work. Now the last one is not an old man, but he's still the old stereotype, the old sensei, and that's Genkai from Yu Yu Hakusho. When I first saw Genkai, I didn't like him. I was like, why are you giving your students so much grief? Just teach them. Why are you being a douche? But then when you learn her backstory, what she wants to do, you realize why she's like that. And a quick summary of that is, she and a good friend of hers were, they were, going around killing demons, getting stronger. The friend betrayed her to get stronger, become a demon himself, and went on to become Toguro, one of the most iconic villains in anime. Toguro set the mark for you think this is my true power? Haha, I lied. This is my true power. That was, whenever you see that, blame to girl. Blame. Anyway, because of that, now she's unwilling to trust people. And even when taking on a student, she made him go through a tournament to prove he was strongest in order to train under Genkai. But as an old sensei, I would say she's probably like the least, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna say she's probably like the least emotionally involved. Like, she's purely in it for, okay, there's threats to the human world. You need to learn these skills, otherwise there's gonna be problems. So I'm gonna teach you, and I don't care if it kills you, you will learn these techniques. Or we will have some problems with you, me, and this fist in your face. That's Genkai. And although she did die, I feel like it was cheapened when she was brought back. Because she died to bring Yusuke more time. But at the end of the day, she did brought her back. And then they didn't really use her much. It was a waste and damaging to her character. But yeah, those are just the examples of the old sensei trope. But there are other sensei types. There are young senseis, female senseis. There are senseis who teaching forbidden stuff. There are senseis that are teaching, incredible, powerful techniques. But I feel like the old sensei is just so iconic due to like the character work by Master Roshi and Jiraiya and Genkai. Again, it's just easier to do, and I don't mind it carrying on as long as the character work is on point and it stays good and it stays fresh. I don't mind it. I think it's a trope everyone looks out for, everyone welcomes, Don't get me wrong, in like Jujutsu Kaisen, it's a young guy. Everyone loves Gojo. Fairy Tail, it's a young... Fairy Tail? No, sorry, not Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail sucks. Fire Force, young person. Not too bad, but yeah. That's the old sensei trope. And I don't mind if it comes back to you.